Hi, Julian. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Mr. Reese?
I'm doing well. Hey, congratulations. I want to just start by asking you what your reaction is to being drafted by the Patriots.
Yeah, it's in this position, it's kind of a toss-up. You never know what's going to happen really going through this process, but was able to build a relationship with the staff there over the past few weeks, and just super excited to go up there and play for Coach Vrabel and be a part of a franchise that's done a lot of winning.
You mentioned being able to build a relationship. Could you tell us a little bit about how that happened?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of started at had an opportunity at the specialist showcase at the Combine back in Indianapolis, and that was kind of my first exposure to Coach Springer and your staff and all that. And so recently, kind of he came down to Nashville and we did a workout, and he kind of walked me through the expectations there and the opportunity, and I just kind of put my best foot forward, and I guess it went well enough that they're willing to take a chance on me here.
And my last one, Julian, how about other teams? Like, what was it like? I mean, I heard you maybe even visited a couple. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of interest kind of throughout this process, and each of those interactions is something I'm really grateful for, and have some great opportunities ahead of me. But fortunately, New England kind of made the first punch here, and couldn't be happier but to be a Patriot.
Thanks for taking the time for us, and congratulations.
Thanks so much.
And next question, Ian Steele.
Hey, Julian, congrats again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm curious, if you know any history with the Patriots, and currently you're going into a locker room with Joe Cardona, a long snapper who's been there for a while. Any relationship there as well?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've never, we haven't met or interacted in the past, but definitely a guy who I've watched a lot of tape on, and, kind of paved the way for snappers, and has had a great career. So, I'm excited to meet and work with and learn from, and, just try to help the football team however I can. So, yeah, it'll be when I get up there, and that'll be the first time that we've met each other.
And next question, Chris Price.
Hey, Julian, welcome to New England.
Thanks so much, Mr. Price.
I am curious how much you might know about New England's history when it comes to special teams tradition. Both, the kickers, the returners, they've had great success by placing a real emphasis on special teams over the years. How familiar are you with that, and how excited are you to be joining a franchise that puts such a premium on special teams?
Yeah, I mean, even just in my lifetime, I've been able to see New England win a number of Super Bowls, and a lot of those have been kind of involving specialists who've been really consistent over the years, and certainly some great tradition, and a lot of names there that I'd recognize if you threw them at me. So, it's a high standard, which I think is a great expectation to walk into, and kind of looking forward to doing my part to keep the line of great specialists through New England going.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And we'll head back to Mike Reese.
Julian, what would you say makes a good snapper?
I think for me, dependability's kind of always been the word, right? Like, that's staying healthy and staying available, but it's also doing the job well so that a coach can worry about scheme and the rest of the game rather than the actual operation of a punt or a kick or whatever it is that's going on. And so kind of just showing up every day, doing what I'm told, and making my coaches and my kicker and my punter's job as easy as possible. And if you can do that, then you can have success as a snapper.
And next question, Sophie Weller.
Hi, Julian. Congratulations on getting drafted.
Thank you so much.
My question is just, I'm curious. I think if I understood you, you had some conversations with the Patriots. So I'm just curious, kind of what that was like talking, if you did, to Jeremy Springer, and just your level of excitement of getting to work with him.
Yeah. So like I said, we had an opportunity to work out together, and he pushed me hard, but that's kind of what excites me about this opportunity is I know he's a young and energetic coach, but he's got a great resume and some really good experience. And so I know that I'll be able to learn from him and develop really quickly. And we'll be ready to play football when the time comes. So yeah, super excited to work with Coach Springer.
All right, Julian, we'll go one more question from Mike Reese.
And Julian, I'm sorry, I'm just fascinated by it. Like, what How did you start snapping? And
Yeah, so I started snapping my sophomore year of high school. Freshman year, I was playing quarterback, and that was kind of my dream. And I actually ended up punting a little bit freshman year too. And kind of going into my sophomore year of high school, was looking for a way to get on the bus and get on the field on varsity. And we kind of had an open tryout at snapper. And I remember Coach Twyman was our running backs coach, and he kind of saw me try one and said, you should probably keep practicing that. You might find a little bit of money to go to college and do this. And my cousin had been a player at Parkview before me, Freddie, and he said, yeah, you can get an opportunity if you kind of get good at it and stick with it. So it was just one of those things that I saw as the best way for me to kind of help out my team through high school. And, I fell in love with it eventually and decided might as well keep doing this in college. And, about 8 years from when I started, here we are. So
what high school?
Parkview High School, in Lilburn, Georgia. That's where I grew up, and that's where I started playing ball and got my roots. So, yep.
Awesome. Congratulations. Thanks for taking the time and answering the questions.
Thanks so much, Mr. Reese. Absolutely.
Julian, thank you again. Congratulations. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Enjoy your night.
Thanks, Steph. Appreciate you all.